in the face of toxicity, a lot of people resort to unfavorable reactions. I've
Like
done
my
it
style?
too. It's kind of something that
Hit the
happens
subscribe button so
naturally
you
when you
don't miss
feel
any
a
future
spiteful
videos.
or like vengeful feeling. Right when somebody sticks the needle in you, sticks the blade in you, and the desire to lash out is so strong, to make that person feel what you felt, or at least to know how bad it hurt, for example. Oftentimes, though, especially on YouTube, I see a lot of people that deal with that type of pain and feeling by rejection. And I've started to look at this almost as a reverse toxicity trait. Just for the sake of the title, let's call it reverse toxicology, playing on the expression reverse psychology. And basically, I think what it is it's people's inability to escape these negative emotions that they take from other people, and indirectly kind of casting them back out into the public space. So the way we see this is a bit unorthodox, but what people will do is they'll craft videos and basically put themselves on a pedestal, or basically tell other people to stay away from these types of people, no matter what. And you can hear the hurt in their voice, the way they talk about, oftentimes their family, their friends. You have some groups that are going so far as to say just like cut everybody off. And I'm not here to say whether or not that's the right thing to do. It depends, of course, on each person's circumstances and their resolve and, their style. But, this idea that we need to just automatically, eject or deject, these fairly important, pillars in our lives, just because people don't understand us, or because they rubbed us the wrong way, or they did something that we're not able to forget. And it's like, people are people, I think the sooner that we understand that, the happier we can be. Because unfortunately, if you're looking for people that are never going to make you upset and that are never going to challenge you, they don't exist, unless they're paraplegics that can't talk, can't speak. And I hate to use that as an example, but that's really how strong I think some people's desire to be heard is. It's like they want to just dump this stuff, and essentially it's been built up through these negative experiences. For example, maybe these people did genuinely try to put themselves out there, or connect with certain people, or do people favors, and then they were rejected. Of course, that's going to hurt, that's going to sting, and ultimately you're going to have to figure out a way to reconcile that feeling. But the last thing you should do is push it back out there, in my opinion, especially on YouTube, through kind of blanket characterization and generalizations about groups of people, and definitely try not to separate yourself too much from what you feel humanity is, unless you just have this horrible pessimistic outlook on life and just think people suck balls. And if that's what you think, then maybe that's what it is. But I think if you can look at people in a forgiving lens, then you'll have a lot easier time coexisting with them and having solid relationships. Now, if you are somebody that is perhaps more emotionally intelligent, or even maybe spiritually intelligent, that can be really difficult, because that means you're probably going to have to sacrifice in a lot of cases and hold your tongue even when you feel like you should say something. Because if you say something every time you have that feeling, you're probably going to give you a little bit of insight. I think this topic is really cool, and I want to keep it concise just so I'm not, going off the rails. But yeah, it's reverse toxicology, and I'd love to talk more about the topic. I think it's something that I've kind of coined in some ways. I haven't seen anything really about it, and I'd love to flesh out in more detail if you, the viewer, like it. So if you like my other stuff, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, try to stay positive, and peace.